Good evening, baseball fans. It is Sunday, June 2nd. I say it's a good evening. It's like a mid-evening, a half-decent evening if you're an Astros fan. I don't really know what it is. It's not a good evening, though. I'll say it's a good evening. I'm Suzy. That is Tom. This is Bourbon and Baseball, Astros edition. And I will give you the rated R warning off the top because, as you can guess, there will be all of the four-letter words. So this is a rated R podcast. I say episode as if all of the episodes are not going to be rated R. No, all of the episodes are going to be rated R. And it is all for the four-letter words. All of the cuss words will be said on this episode because this team drives me absolutely bonkers. So with that said, if you've got littles or if you yourself are not comfortable with the four-letter words, you can probably skedaddle on out of here. There is another Astros podcast that is PG-13, Suzy. That's called Astros in Orbit. You can find that on the Top Fan Rivalry Network. That is PG-13, Suzy. This is rated R, Suzy. Over here, you get unfiltered, uncut, all of the rated R, Suzy. Over here on the Bourbon and Baseball, you get PG-13, Suzy, on the Astros in Orbit on the Top Fan Rivalry. I don't know what that hard word say. Network. You can go over there. There's no cuss words over there. That family friendly. This, not so much. So with that said, Tom, we didn't record after the Seattle series. Now we're recording after the Seattle and the Twins series that we lost. We lost to both of those and handily we lost.
No, they lost one game handily. They only lost one game handily out of both series. And I knew you were going to say that, and I was ready for it. They only lost one of these games disrespectfully. The rest of them were all respectfully.
So tell me which of these games we lost disrespectfully.
The first game of the series, Ronel Blanco going 6-1 Minnesota Twins. Every one of the other Seattle games were all nail biters. Every one of the other Twin Series games were all nail biters. That one was the only one that was disrespectful. And that one was the one I felt the most confident about. What's even more disrespectful, so this is the so-called ace right now because the team's just bad all the way around. And this was the dude, this was the stopper. This is the guy who was going to show up with El Cambio and get us a dub. And that did not happen.
That did not happen. And what I feel like is more disrespectful is the fact that outside of Ronel Blanco, every one of our starters in the Seattle series and in the Minnesota series got us quality starts. It is that motherfucking gift that if the bullpen shows up and the starting pitching shows up, the offense goes to sleep. If the offense shows up and the starting pitching shows up, the bullpen blows. It can't all cycle on the same cycle, all of the cycles. None of the cycles cycle up. And when we're talking about baseballs, it's important.
Cycles matter.
All the cycle. Okay. When there's three ladies in the house and the cycles match up, then you're in for a world of hurt. And maybe that's what's happened to the Astros at some point.
All the Astros wives cycles are all in sync and they can't function.
I'm just saying, maybe that's a theory that we need to look into because nothing else seems to make any fucking sense around here. Let's get into it. I just want to first and foremost say a big fuck you to the umpires.
Yes.
And LVPA. Just a big ol' F you because can you make it any more fucking obvious what you're doing here? At first I thought, okay, I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on and I'm going to look through my orange Astros Homer glasses. And it's going to be like, oh, all right, it's the Astros. So you're sure us because we're the Astros. But no, all four of those games had the umpire scorecard in favor of the Mariners by half a run at least. And if you really sat down and watched those games, it really felt like more. But the fact that all four of those games skewed in favor of the freaking Mariners and all of them were down to the fucking wire, you're like, oh, cool. I don't know, if any of those calls maybe went the Astros' way, we may not be talking about a 3-1 series loss here. That's fine. I know, BPA, that's cool. You got Angel Hernandez out the league. Like maybe we clean it up a little bit more. Larry Vanover, I'm looking at you.
It's the fact that they're 5-13 in one-run ball games. And like, you look at Seattle, who's leading the division, and it's flip-flop. I think they're 12-4. And when you have these critical areas where one pitch is the difference between, literally in today's game, a strikeout or a home run, and the game is decided by one run, that shit fucking matters. Like, it
Yeah.
really fucking matters. So, Susan's 100% right. I totally feel like something needs to be looked at it. I was looking for it when we started and I can't find it. There's somebody that's actually got data that back this up. The blown calls, runs. I retweeted it. I was looking for it. And it's remarkable. 3 division leaders at the top of this thing are getting all the calls. Some of the best teams in baseball are getting all the calls. Some of the really good teams that aren't the best teams in baseball, Astros and Orioles, are really getting some shitty calls. Maybe it's the color orange because the Orioles are at
This-
the bottom of that too.
I think maybe it is. I am going to find it because I tweeted it out. And I'm going to, for the YouTube crowd, put it on the screen. So while I find it, Todd, you just keep ranting. I'm going to find it and I'm going to mute myself because my ice maker is super loud.
Is
My
that
ice
what's
maker
cooking?
is my ice
You need
maker
to drink.
you hear
I
the ice
do.
maker? I don't even know which way to point. The
Yeah.
ice maker also agrees with me, people. Okay. I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to find the thing that Tom is talking about and I will show you. So if you're audio only, go to the YouTubes, watch the YouTube video and look at the chart. I'm not even making shit up. 94% of the time when I talk about the things on this podcast, I'm exaggerating a little bit. I'm really never making anything up. I'm really exaggerating, but now I'm really not exaggerating. There are actual stats to back it up. So I'm going to mute myself. Tom, you rant. I'm going to find it.
2 things. One, that ice maker is awesome. If you don't have one, you need to get one because everywhere I see them, I want one. It makes little sonic ice, the little bitty crystals. And you want to talk about the best drink serving ice, whether it's water or liquor, you need one of those ice makers. That's just me. Susie's nodding. For those that are audio only, I'm telling you, they're amazing. Secondly, this page on Twitter that she's about to post, if you're not following, you should, because it's a ton of great, useful information with respect to strike calls and all the different things. Like, they're doing all the analytical stuff, why teams are doing so well or not doing well or whatever. And I think it's just really good information. When she pulls this up, you'll be able to see some pretty damning stuff that says MLB, PA, you're really fucking these Astros pretty good. And in a game, in a season in which they aren't their best, in past seasons, I think they were strong enough to overcome stuff like that. This season, they just have not got huge production in critical moments. You need some of this to go your way to help even that out. I saw something after the game today where Charlie Polillo, a radio jockey, local sports talk radio, went after YordanAlvarez. And I get it. He's one of the superstars on your team. But he went after his ability to produce runs. He put out a stat that said he's 8 for 50 with runners in scoring position. And I was like, and part of me was upset and the part of me wasn't because of where Yordan was in the lineup, what we were asking Yordan to do, lineup construction. I get it. He had 50 runners on, but I gotta believe there's guys that are doing way worse with runners in scoring position than YordanAlvarez. And for him to single out one of the only guys that's consistently hitting, I think there was another stat that was put out where guys with hits in 8 of the last 10 games or something like that, Jordan's on that fucking list. But we're gonna go after Jordan. Oh, and by the way, the day after he goes double dong in a game, shut the fuck up. Suzy Flores.
I wasn't aware that we were going to use the term double dong on the podcast, but here we are. So
Gave the warning. I can use
I
it.
did. I did. I was just taken aback that it was used. That's all I'm saying. All right. So if you were on the YouTubes, you can see the stat that I put up, and it's literally a sheet. The blue is saying that it's helped by umpires, and the kind of maroonish brown is hurt by umpires when batting, when pitching. Those are the two various situations. And guess what? The Guardians didn't have the Guardians on my sheet up here, but apparently plus 94. So they are when batting, they're at a -5, but then when they're pitching, a plus 99. So now I understand that when they're pitching, pitch framing does matter a little bit. So you got Austin Hedges back there for the Guardians, you got Bo Naylor back there for the Guardians, and I'm pretty sure that they've got some good framing numbers back there. Okay. Same thing for the Yankees. Joey Trevino is decent. I say decent. I wasn't aware that he was plus 123 good. I highly doubt to sing. There's the stealing strikes, and then there's whatever the fuck this Yankees score is. Plus 123. Give me a fucking break. Just give me a break. And then guess where the Astros are? Down here. way down here at a minus 65. Now, I know what people are going to say. I know. Oh, all right, Astros, you're all the way the fuck down there. But guess who's second down there? The Brewers. Guess who leads the and I get it. I understand. All right. But you had the NL, you had NL Central, you had the Brewers up there. Nobody fucking expected the Brewers to do shit. All right. So the disappointment meter for the Brewers, nobody cares. Nobody gives a fuck. The Astros. Astros. All right. The minus 65 when batting, when pitching. -8 when pitching, -57 when batting. That's just absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Which adds up to a whole -65. That's so dumb, people. That's so dumb. Give me the automatic strike zone. Can you maybe? Absolutely need it. Let's see. The Rays are on here with a -63 when batting. I think that's the one that's closest to us. Twins and Yankees at a -52 when batting. Apparently my dyslexia got this to me right then. But yeah, just I cannot. I can't. I just am befuddled at these numbers. Not gonna lie, did not see the Pirates in there. The Pirates up here with the Mets. The Mets, what are we doing? Like, they're trying to help. Not working. Not working. So this graphic is from Brooksgate. I cannot see that small on my screen. So it's Brooks_gate on Twitter. And it's a great unbiased baseball account. It tweets out all kinds of baseball stats and there is no team bias. It literally just, here it is. So great account. Everybody should go follow it. That's what this graphic is from. And it just, there it is. I'm not making it up. I'm not exaggerating. Legitimately down here, the Astros. And it's so dumb. I'm going to fix my screen now, maybe.
But yeah, these are tough things to overcome for a team that's not firing on all cylinders. So, for example, there were games where tons of men left runners in scoring position, less than 2 outs. Those are runs you should have anyway. But if you don't have them, and then you have this where you feel like the pitcher's getting squeezed a bit, or you feel like the hitter is getting the zone expanded on him, it makes it impossible for a hitter to cover that much plate, or B, a pitcher to not groove somebody something, i.e., RyanPressly, I'm talking to you, who I feel like for all the bad outings he had, and we'll get into it further, today I felt like he got squeezed and that hurt him. This graphic that Suzy just pointed out totally exposed what I think happened to RyanPressly today in a manner where other pitchers lived on the edge all game. And Presley went out there and worked the edges really well. A lot of them were really well located, and he was not getting any of these calls, and it really put him in a bad spot.
Absolutely. I even tweeted during the game, during his at bat, that the strike zone for him was frenetic. The home plate umpire could not decide what was a strike and what was not. Things that weren't a strike were being called strikes. Things that were strikes were being called, like, it was just, the zone was all over the place. I felt bad for Presley. I felt bad for the hitter. And it was bad on both sides of the ball. Don't get me wrong. The Twins got hosed on a couple of calls as well. But for the majority of the at-bats, Hunter Brown legitimately first pitch of the game. So I can't even say that the umpire was tired. It was a whole, like, a ball and a half in the zone. And he called it a ball. It was like the most beautifully placed strike in the entire world. And then 4 pitches later, Trevor Larnach hits a home run. Now, again, I'm not saying that Hunter Brown wasn't going to give up a home run sometime during his pitching tenure. But for that at bat, it took that first quote unquote strike that's not a strike totally changed the entire at bat. And when the score is 3-2, is it 3-2? 4-3.
4-3 was final score.
4-3.
Sorry.
Guess what? That home run is even more magnified now. And it's just so maddening that we take 4 steps forward and then 73 steps back. And it's just like any traction that we gain, we just immediately lose. Immediately. And we had a great game. We had a great game yesterday. However, legitimately all of our runs are scored via home run. And the Twins had the same problem, that none of their runs came on quote unquote small ball, moving the runners over, all home runs. We have the same problem. We have the same problem. Also, why are we not pinch running for JoseAbreu?
It's a good question. I even asked that question, and I'm to a point kind of Jose Abreu defender for no other reason that if you want the Astros to be great, you want him to be great. I don't think anybody, Loperfido, Singleton, any first baseman you bring up, although Cabbage is killing it at AAA right now, anybody has the ceiling that Jose Abreu has already shown. Can he get there? I don't know. But I feel like for Astros fans, he's going to get there before John Singleton does. And I know everybody loves Big John, and I think Big John's great. But Big John has came back down to earth a little bit after he rose to fame, and now he's flirting around his weight. And I don't know when you start going, all right, this isn't what we signed up for. We signed up for 250 Big John with so much production, and we're not getting it.
Side note, did you see the tweet that the Sugarland Space Cowboys had to take down?
No,
Yeah. It
that's
was
awesome.
Joey it was Joey Loperfido
Was it
doing
the
amazing defensive play over there.
at first base, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And the tweet was something like, "Oh, just first baseman doing first baseman things," or something like that. And it got deleted.
Wonder
The
who's
highlight got deleted. I was not aware that the Astros had whatever say over the Sugarland Space Cowboys social media, but apparently a call got made because it got taken down.
ooh, I'm dying to know where that came from. I feel like that had to be like Dana Brown level high or somebody up there in the organization where, look, you're shitting on us a little bit and we don't want that. That's spicy. I like it. I want
Like,
Joey
bro,
Loperfido to play first base. Joey Loperfido for me is the one guy that I think, okay, his ceiling could be sky high. We just haven't seen it. We haven't seen it at first base. It's this again. I don't want anybody to feel like I don't like Big John. I do. I just feel like there's a certain level he can get to, and that's serviceable. We've said that. He's still gonna have his dips and valleys too. So it's like when he's batting 222 or 219 or whatever he's batting now, are you good? Yeah, if he goes on a tear next week and then he gets back up to 275, then you go, Big John, Big John. But his valleys are as bad as Jose Abreu's. So I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. Congrats, JoseAbreu. You hit your first home run. We love that. We absolutely love that for you. We are going to be here to celebrate all of the good things that you do, but we will again point out the deficiencies in everyone's game. Don't get it twisted. This is not a JoseAbreu hater spot. It's a we are going to point out all of the deficiencies for all of the players. Chaz McCormick, I'm looking at you. I hate it so much. Hate it so much. Side note, Jacob, Berkshire, Myers, hand up. I take it back. I take it back. I take not all of it. Not all of it. I take back most of it though. I take back most of it. And I've always said that Jake issues were in here, all in between the ears, always. And with some confidence, would you look at that? Would you look at what Jake's doing with some confidence? Now he's come back down to earth a little bit as far as hitting goes, but can we talk about that defensive play yesterday? Stealing that home run from Byron Buxton. You know it's good when the opposing player that you stole the thing from tips his fucking hat. And Byron Buxton ain't no scrub, obviously. So when you get a hat tip from Byron Buxton, that's some good shit. That is some good shit. I'm
But like I
really
was
trying to find
saying,
it.
when Chaz was in a great mental space last year, he was the same animal. When Jose Abreu, who had a huge slow start to the season prior, got his head right. You know, the famous slide across home plate after his first home run, and then all of a sudden he went to work. It was like all of a sudden he could get out of his own head and start playing the game. And I believe Bregman is starting to show that too. You're starting to see Bregman get knocks and you're starting to see him enjoy playing baseball again instead of like sighs of relief, like, thank God I didn't fuck that up. Like, you're starting to see guys have fun in the clubhouse. And I think that is what should be, I guess, a positive to look at, something to look forward to is that they're starting to get closer as a team. Bregman's starting to hit. Obviously, Jordan's doing his thing. I thought today was a weird day to play with the lineup. I'm really having a hard time with Joe Espada because I get it. Uh, Jose Altuve's played all season, and I understand. And you need to find him rest days. It's not when you can win a series, though. And I think go give him the first day off against a guy that he's got bad numbers against. A guy like Woods Richardson, I think is his name. Yeah, a guy like that, I think Jose might have been able to tee off on. And this would have been something like get the good mojo in the clubhouse. You needed to run a really good lineup out there. And I think you took a bunch of struggling hitters and put them in the lineup and then moved Tuck to lead off, which I thought was crazy. Don't get me wrong, I understand it with the walks, but he's probably one of your best power hitters. And we have a runners in scoring position problem. You need him to drive in runs. You don't need him to be lead off. I don't know. I felt like today was a game they could, even with all that being said, a game they could have got, but it just did not.
Although I will give him some credit though, because he has been playing with a lot more swagger, a lot more aura and vibes. And Swaggy Breggy is back doing the whole, alarm thing. Should have fucking walked me. I love it. But the price is you already drove down the price, Breggy. You can't, I don't know if you can get it back up, sir. I don't know. Do you just come with a card that says does not heat up until June? You know how like some products
Instructions.
just
I can't
like
cook until June.
like do not use under these circumstances, just buyer beware. I don't
Temperature
know.
must reach 90 degrees before I start hitting.
It shouldn't matter for you, Breggy, because you play 94% of your fucking games in a goddamn dome. Whatever. That's neither here nor there. Thank Jesus that he's hitting again, that Yordan is locked back in. What looks like he's locked back in. Tucker getting some home runs, and they just 94% of the stuff that he's getting. Pitchers don't want any part of him. They're giving him literally one, and he's taking it and just getting his ball. Like, look it. You're not going to get me
He's
a good
getting
pitch, like
that superstar MVP treatment right now. So for the people that want to be concerned if Tuck doesn't have crazy power numbers in the next few weeks, they're going to have to hit around him for him to start getting more to hit. I think it's going to be very important for Joe Espada to craft these lineups in a way to now protect Tuck so that Tuck gets something to hit. Because if not, they're going to dare everyone else to beat them.
Yeah. Yep. And I think maybe now with Yordan hitting and Brady hitting, they can maybe Tuck will get some of those better pitches to hit. Fingers crossed. Hopefully. So I know this is Tom's favorite part of the show when we do the standings, but we got to do them. We got to do them because unfortunately, we are still middle of the pack. We are 7.5 games back. Unfortunately, that Seattle series where we could have made up some ground, we did not. We did not. We lost the ground. We lost the grounds, and now we are 7.5 games back. Texas is 4 games back. Oakland is 10 games back, and the Los Angeles Angels are 12 games back. If we were in any other division, we would just be solely out of it. But we are 26 and 34. 26 and 34. That's not good, guys. That's not a good number to be at. We don't like that. We don't like it. Now, what was that? What was the run that the Nats went on in 2019? It was something stupid like this, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I think Atlanta went on a similar run 2 years ago where they started off incredibly cold and then all of a sudden they were on a march to walk down the Phillies that jumped out to a huge lead.
okay. So I'm gonna just say and just hope and pray and pretend like I'm looking on the right side. I mean, that's what the Astros wanted to do. We just wanted to give everybody a little head start before we just. That's what I'm gonna say. But
I'm not
hope.
going to say that. I'm going to say they have played the toughest part of their schedule. It has been a gauntlet, whether it is the talent or the days. I think they're in the middle of a stretch of 29 games in 30 days or something absolutely fucking crazy. There's no reason that they should have to play so many games in a row. It just doesn't make any sense to me that you would start your season that way instead of making it nice and even or whatever. I don't know who we're catering to, but it's definitely not the Astros because their schedule's been crazy. And then they went to Mexico. There's so much. What I will say is that this is the part of the schedule coming up. This month of June is going to be really huge to see as to where the Astros can make up ground, if they can make up ground at all, because they start playing some teams that are less than 500.
Although we say that, and then come the end of August, we have another one of these runs where we play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 games in a row with no days off.
It's a lot.
But that's so that we love that. Why would we want days off in between like travel days? That's so silly. That's
Yeah.
so silly. That's
We love
that's
getting into the hotel at 1 o'clock for a 6 o'clock game, 1 a.m.
that's
for a 6 p.m. game. We love that.
so that's dumb. You guys are dumb. All right, so we head into the St. Louis Cardinals series Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays. The pitching matchups for the St. Louis series, I want to say it's Justin Verlander, Spencer Arrighetti, and Ronald Blanco. Does that sound proper?
It
Paul?
does.
Don't
It absolutely
remember.
does.
All right. I do not think that I am looking at the correct spot for that information. Let's see. Chandler Rome. Do you have said information? Chandler Rome. And let's see.
I think you're right. I think you're 100% right. That's exactly how it was before. I don't see it changing now, but I'll pull it up real quick.
All right. Astros, Cardinals probables. Justin Verlander versus Kyle Gibson.
Hmm.
Spencer Arrighetti versus Andre Palante, and Ronald Blanco versus Miles Michaelis. So Spencer Arrighetti versus Andre Palante, that is going to be their bullpen game, I believe. Andre Palante will probably go 3 innings, and then bullpen guys will just be trotted out. Don't get it twisted, guys. Their starters are not grade A top shelf, but their bullpen is right there. Their bullpen is not to be trifled with. So you'll, if you think walking into the Tuesday game, oh, that's the game that we've got, don't think that. Don't think that. Okay, just I need you guys to be prepared. The Monday game, Justin Verlander versus Kyle Gibson. Kyle Gibson has been sneaky. I wouldn't say good, but sneaky solid for them. I want to say that he has gone out and given quality starts. I think like half of his innings. I say that. Let me look up Kyle Gibson's record.
For me, this is a really big series for the Astros. I think that this could be the start of something really positive going into this. I think stretch they have to dominate for them to
Why?
get back in this thing. Why? Because it's 4 teams that are under 500. It's the Angels, it's the Giants, it's the Tigers, it's the White Sox. You need to go beat those guys up. And if you do that, and then the Orioles get you, then you turn around and you beat up the Rockies and you beat up the Mets. And then all of a sudden by the end of June, you're going, all right, we're 2 or 3 games back maybe of the Mariners, and you can work with that. If they mess around with the Cardinals and don't take care of business because it's at home, I feel like they should win the series. And then you go into you go on the road to play the Angels and the Giants and say you play 500 baseball, which is possible as well, then it doesn't matter. I think the hole just gets too deep. And then where the
Who
name of
hates
the
equals?
episode, the where the name of the episode is, can we talk about selling yet? We will be talking about selling at that point because
Okay, so
I don't know that you can get all the way into July and not know what you want to do because then the clock is ticking. You have that month to try to broker stuff and start talking to teams and go, okay, what do we want? What do you want? The Astros are going to have an interesting decision if they're out of this thing because there are some players they could absolutely move for blue chip prospects. But do you want to do that if you think you're going to be good next year? That's going to be the $1 million question. How deep do you want to cut into this thing?
bring me Tommy Pham for Chas McCormick. I will do that in a heartbeat. Let's do it. Let's do
In
it.
a heartbeat?
Not in a heartbeat. Not in a heartbeat. That hurts. That hurts my soul. Joking around about it, that hurts my heart. And I don't.
Could you imagine the Astros go into Chicago and make that move and they just switch clubhouses? Just Tommy
Oh,
just gets on the jet?
like we did for the Mariners, like when
Yeah.
Kendall Graveman came over. Oh, yeah, no, that would hurt my heart. That would hurt my heart. And then Chas McCormick hit like a grand slam off of us, and then Tommy Pham starts a fight. That would that would just be like cherry on top.
All the narratives right there, right?
Oh my goodness. Look, I am just repeating history. That's what happened with Abraham Toro. We traded Abraham Toro to the Mariners, and then Immediately, Abraham Toro turned around and like hit a home run against us the next day. And then I think Kendall Graveman had a blow up inning as well, like right off the bat. That was a long time ago, and I don't really remember that far. So, anyhow, circling back to
Mhm.
Kyle Gibson, I was going to say Kyle Verlander, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Who is Kyle Verlander? I don't know. The youngest Verlander that nobody knows is, let's see, Gibson has a 4-2 record. He earned the win Tuesday over Cincinnati, allowing 1 run on 2 hits and 2 walks over 6 innings. He struck out 6. He's 36, and he's held opponents to 2 earned runs or fewer in 8 of his last 9 outings. He's lowered his ERA to a 3.6 with a 1.22 whip and 52 Ks to 25 walks across 11 starts. That's 65 innings. And just know that also not going to be a walk in the park. We thought that Kyle Gibson was going to be a walk in the park when he was with the Orioles. And then he ends up going like 8, like shutty against us. So now we all joked when the Astros, or excuse me, when the Cardinals signed Kyle Gibson and Lance Lynn and all of the old fogies. And here they are doing it. Kyle Gibson, I dare say, obviously has a better record than Hunter Brown, has a better record than Spencer and Arrighetti. Do we, as Astro fans, would we love a pitcher that had this record for us? Absolutely. But we would love 2 pitchers that won't have any of that with us, JoséUrquidy and CristianJavier. I am quite worried about Dana Brown's comments when he said that he was very worried about JoséUrquidy. Remember when we could have traded JoséUrquidy? Remember when we could have traded JoséUrquidy for WilsonContreras? Remember
Tried,
that?
tried. But you know what though? That's a scary business, right? Because if they would have made that trade, would you feel like you feel now? Do you think Wilson Contreras makes it seem better? Like
No.
I always get in these conversations with people, they're like, we could have had so and I'm like, yeah, but the guy back there is the guy you want now. So what are you really saying?
What I'm really saying is that I am a smart baseball fan, and I know that DustyBaker wouldn't have played Wilson Contreras, and Wilson Contreras would have poisoned the clubhouse. I say poisoned the clubhouse. He would not have had a good attitude in the clubhouse. Let's just put it that way. Yainer Diaz being a rookie, Yainer Diaz is going to be, I'm a rookie. That's what I got to do. I got to earn my stripes. Wilson Contreras wasn't going to be like that. Wilson Contreras is going to sit there and say, guess what, motherfuckers? I am the better catcher all around, like catching wise, probably not, but maybe, likely, batting wise. And he wouldn't have put up with DustyBaker not playing him. We got the things that we got and they still didn't get playing time. Christian Vasquez and Trey Mancini sat on the bench and didn't do jack. Don't get it twisted. Trey Mancini had like probably the most pivotal play. He only had the one when in all reality he was signed to platoon with Yuli, give Yuli rest days so that playoff Yuli could have been like during the season Yuli with rest. And also, don't get it twisted. Guess who's better when they have rest? All people, i.e. JoseAbreu. Don't get it twisted. Also,
Do,
Jose
do
Altuve
we
and Loki.
do we need to
Jimmy
get
needs some rest.
well, that's why I had the day off, I think. Because before that, he had played never game or he'd only had one other game where he didn't play second base and he DH'd that game. So he literally played every game. And today he didn't get the whole day off because they needed to try to win a game. But when do we talk about giving RyanPressly more rest? Because he's not a young guy either anymore. And I'm ready to talk about the whole eighth inning because
Look,
I know there is a group of people that are going to be very upset with me. And I understand it. But if RyanPressly is having issues with the eighth inning, then maybe you don't pitch him the eighth inning. And if RyanPressly is having issues with not being a closer, as much as it pains me to say this, then trade him somewhere where he can be a closer because this version of RyanPressly isn't helping him or the team.
the views and things that Tom has expressed are solely Tom's. I'm just kidding. A part of me does actually agree with you, Tom. I I don't know if it is being moved from the closer role. I don't know if it is just getting older because I read a thing saying that all of his numbers, velocity wise and things like that, are the same on all of his pitches. It's just location that he's missing. And I don't, obviously, the elite athlete that I am, knows how to fix that. No, I don't. Like, how do you fix location? I don't. Is that something that can be fixed? I don't know. I'm genuinely asking. He is getting up there in age, and we all know that RyanPressly on back-to-back days, and even in his younger years, that second day was iffy. And if that first day he went beyond 15 pitches and then he goes the second day, it was iffy. So you had all of these cats with RyanPressly that didn't make your asshole clench. You got to talk about it, unfortunately. I don't take anything away from what RyanPressly has done. But at this point in time, is his performance now tarnishing the good feelings that he has earned in the past?
I don't feel like I have this like negative connotation towards Ryan Presley. I don't think he's hurt. I don't think anything's wrong other than like maybe it's a mental thing. But for me, there's no better situation that Joe Espada can set up an eighth inning for Ryan Presley to come into a game than what he's had all season. He's never went and got Ryan Presley to get somebody out of trouble. He's always brought him in on a clean inning. Like, this has always been a perfect scenario from a bullpen aspect, and he's really struggled. And his ERA has skyrocketed. And I feel like this is something that if you feel that he can still be the eighth inning guy, fine. But how far people are like, oh, Jose Abreu's got to be DFA'd, or
Who think
somebody
that? Nobody.
somebody
Oh,
said today DFA Jose
sorry.
Abreu and DFA Ryan Presley, and I'm like, man, that's crazy. Like, you need to fix these guys, but put them where they can best be successful. And some people say he needs to be a closer. I'm like, look, I'm sorry, you can say that, but they paid Josh Hader a bajillion dollars, and Josh Hader looks the part for all the struggles that he had to start the season. That dude is locked the fuck in now, and when he comes in, you feel really good about where you're at. Yes, he's given up some hard hit contact. Obviously, we talked about the play that your boy Berkshire made in center field, but it's that or nothing. And he's electric. So Josh Hader is your closer going forward. Now you have to figure
Josh,
out
yeah.
now you have to figure out where to use Ryan Presley to best serve him. And maybe that's the seventh inning. Maybe it's a spot in the lineup. Maybe I need 7, 8, 9 for him. I hate to say that because he can face anyone. But right now, you got to find a way to get his mind right, get him back, because the last 3 or 4 times out, you can just see it. His body language is awful, regardless of the situation.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. I have no idea how to fix Ryan Presley. Obviously, if I did, I wouldn't be here on a podcast talking to y'all. I would be having a
Sorry,
talk of
Tom,
baseball,
gotta go.
right? Sports psychologist, here I come. But if you guys have ideas, thoughts, drop them in the YouTube comments. I'd love to hear what y'all think about that. The team, when the team is doing Astros things, is very fun to watch, but it's so maddening when there's runners in scoring position and you leave the bases loaded, because that's so much fun. Of course, like, why would we drive runners in when we could just leave them out there? Because they don't like their home. They don't want to come in. They don't want to do that. Well, it's not fun for them. It's maddening. Maddening is the keyword here, being an Astros fan at this point in time. It is maddening. I say that, and there are worse teams out there doing other maddening things. Like the Angels just sent down Reed Detmers. Can we go get Reed Detmers? Can we fix Reed Detmers? I feel like maybe we could fix Reed Detmers. Give the Angels somebody shiny and then be like, here's someone shiny. I don't even know who. I don't
Shiny.
even know what they need.
I would send
Having good
for
days.
Reed Devers, I would probably send somebody like Shea Whitcomb. That's shiny.
No, we can't send Shea Wickham.
Why not? He's blocked all over the place.
Here in the organization?
Mhm.
What does Shea Wickham play?
Shea plays second. He's not gonna play second. Shea plays short. He's not gonna play short. And he also plays the outfield.
Okay, so send Shea Wickham. Send Shea Wickham. That is a tongue twister if I've ever had one in my entire life. Send
Like,
him over to the Angels for Reed Detmers. I think they took him.
let me see what he is primarily, but from what I gather, so yeah, second, third, short. Where is he playing?
Okay.
Maybe third, but I think Will Wagner is the guy that's gaining a lot of traction. They're moving him all over the diamond. He's playing first base. He's hitting a ton. So yes, I think if for some reason Bregman decides to play somewhere else, Will Wagner is the guy that slides into his spot. But Shea's not bad
Yeah.
either.
Okay. All right, Angels, are you listening? We will trade you Shea Wickham for Reed Detmers.
You don't
Young,
want a
controllable talent.
299, 9 homers, 40 RBIs, 7 stolen bases, 26 walks, and 52 Ks. You don't want that? 912 OPS. Not
That
bad.
would be like the best. That would be like the best hitter in your lineup right now.
Yeah.
Minus, I honestly do think that, and like Logan O'Hoppe. Side note, was not aware that Logan O'Hoppe had a dump truck on him. I was like,
Side note,
wow,
I wasn't either, and I'm not gonna report that.
just in case y'all needed to know, so that I'm not alone in that fact. Now you guys also know. Yeah. So that's that 3-game series with the Cardinals. And then we have our first day off in 2 weeks. So it's the Cardinals, and then is it the White Sox?
The
No, it's the
Angels.
Angels. So maybe we make that trade. Maybe Shea Wickham just goes on over to the Angels, and then Reed Detmers comes on over.
It'll be
I know
interesting because that's about when they'll find out. I want to say they said Thursday is when they'll find out what's going on with Urquidy or Christian Javier. So
they
like,
already know. They already know what's going on with Javier and Urquidy. They just don't want the public to know. Come on. They all know how super forthcoming this organization is, how super transparent they are with injury update. And again, if I never hear the word discomfort ever booking again, it will be too soon. But
it's not just the Astros using discomfort though. Everybody uses discomfort.
yeah, but it's like immediate. Shit, Ranger Suarez got a comebacker, and almost immediately you heard left hand contusion, will be out for a couple of days. Not, and I understand that's a little bit different than forearm discomfort. I get it. All right. I know. But it just seems like the Astros organization in and of themselves is a little bit more, I don't want to say shady,
Close to the vest.
close to the vest. There we go. Shady has a bad connotation to it. They like to hold their information. But the fact that Dana Brown did come out and say that he's very worried about JoséUrquidy, that doesn't make me feel great. And why did the organization, I understand why we sent down Sean Dubin, but then why did we bring up Alex Spees? And why did we not just bring back Sean Dubin?
So
Is there like a time period where they have to stay down?
yes,
Like once? Okay. Okay.
unless somebody's hurt.
Okay.
So that's that's otherwise there's a period. I think it's 7 days, and that's why they brought up Speeds, and that's why they sent him immediately back.
Okay. I was like, but wait, Sean Dubin is way better. Why are we even fucking with Alex Spees? Although he has an electric arm. So if he could learn some command, I guess that would be great. Another guy who learned command, I'm so happy for him. Anoli Canoli. Do you guys remember Anoli Paredes? Anoli got picked up by the Brewers and has been lights out for the Brewers. I want to say that he has thrown 12 or 13 innings, I think, and his ERA is like a sub 1. Just so good. And that makes me very happy for Anoli. If you guys don't remember Anoli Paredes from the 2020 season, go back and look. He
He
had
was he was
a
awesome.
$1 million smile, loved cannolis, and he makes me happy. That I'm just very happy that he is doing well in the Brewer system, got another chance, and looks like he learned some command because he always had a great mix of pitches, but he was spotty with it. And it looked like when we came back 2021 season, because 2020 season he was great, but there was no one in the stands. 2021 when he came back and there were people back in the stands and you heard it looked like the lights got a little too bright. The noise got to be a little bit too much. And it looked like that for a little while. Went back down to AAA and just really couldn't find it. And I was back. And it makes me so happy. Love it. Love it. Congrats, Noe.
Hate that it wasn't the Stros, but I understand.
All right. We're gonna wrap it up, I think. Maybe. I'm trying to think of things for the Cardinals. Side note, Goldschmidt, the Cardinals aging 36-year-old first baseman has been heating up. So maybe it gives me hope for our aging 37-year-old first baseman. Hopefully, maybe.
But the thing is, he has to play. What I can't stress enough to people that are like, get him the fuck off the team. You don't get the production if he's in Sugarland. You don't get him to just go mop Sugarland and then show up and hit major league hitting. He has to get comfortable in that batter's box at the biggest stage. If he doesn't, it's no different than when Alex Bregman came up and was like 1 for 21 or whatever. You know what I mean? Until he got his sea legs, as they say, he wasn't good. And I feel like for whatever it is that's got Jose Abreu messed up, if you're done, fine. But the team is gonna have to eat that bullet. I don't think that they want to do that because it's throwing stuff on the owner and Jeff Bagwell, who made that deal without a GM. I think they're always gonna try to push that agenda, and people hate it. And you have to understand when you make a silly purchase, you're gonna try to make that purchase go until you feel like you've gotten your money's worth. I don't care who you are. I don't care how big or how small the purchase is. If you buy a pair of shoes that hurt your feet, but they look good, you're going to wear those damn shoes, even though they're not good for you, because I bought them and they look good and I want them on my feet, even though I'm in pain. And if you can't relate to that, you're a liar because everybody's done it.
I
Jose
like
Abreu
that
is
you
those shoes.
I like that you likened Jose Abreu to a pair of shoes that hurt your feet. That's where we are in this season, people. That's what we're going to do. I that cracks me up. So I guess just be aware that Paul Goldschmidt has gotten hot. I say hot, has gotten hotter. Nolan Arenado has started hitting again. Michael Ciani, who is their backup catcher, now that WilsonContreras is not in a cast, which is just truly mind-boggling to me. The fact that he has, I don't know, like some sort of like magical healing powers because he's a wizard, and he doesn't no longer has a cast, and but Michael Ciani's back there in the meantime doing things. Ivan Herrera doing things. Wait, is Michael Ciani their center fielder? And
Herrera's the catcher,
Ivan
right?
Herrera the catcher? Yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
had
yeah.
it. Michael Ciani is their center fielder. Ivan Herrera is their catcher. Mason Wynn is their young shortstop that is just all over the diamond. Apparently, Mason Wynn is from Houston, and I didn't realize that.
That's
So
not good.
he'll
He'll have a
probably
day.
have huge contingent there at Minute Maid, and will probably steal all of the bags. So, and
Although
Alex Wilson, Nolan Gorman, and Dylan Carlson are legitimately all the same guy. I cannot tell them apart. Just big white guys with facial hair.
although the thing with Mason Wynn, he was on an 18-game hitting streak and then pitch hit the other day and unfortunately got an out. So at least he's not on this incredible 18, 19. Like he's got to start over. And hopefully Houston, all the family, everybody and their mother be beating him up for tickets. He will not be concentrated on baseball. So that is a positive. He's gonna have to deal with all the whole contingent want to be at Minute Maid. I hope that he takes that 3 games off and starts over the next series.
Let's hope. Let us hope. Although I really was hoping that Lance Lynn would pitch, and then I would have to count like nut grabs and see how many nut grabs and cuss words were sent or said, not sent, were said. But but we pitch in a dome, so it really wouldn't be that much. Anyways, I have
He's
to go back and listen to various episodes of Bourbon and Baseball, All the Balls edition, because Kelsey and I had a bet to see the over-under of how many nut grabs Lynn had while he pitches. During the summer, I think the numbers that we said are going to hit at some point in time. I think they are. So anyways, with that said, Tom, closing remarks, like we're in court.
Your Honor, I'm pleading as the defense of these Houston Astros. They are guilty of not providing sufficient run support, but the jury is still out. Give them time, Your Honor. One day we will drive in the runs and then they will be cleared of all charges. We just have to give them time. The defense rests.
I'm quite impressed with how far you took that. I was waiting until you ran out to see like how long that would actually go. I'm quite impressed. Good job. Good job, Tom. Good job. With that, Tom, tell the people if they want less legal jargon, tell the people where they can find you on the interwebs. No legal jargon here.
I'll gladly help you in court. I'm not a lawyer, but I'll gladly help you. Because clearly I've got free time. At Third Coast Tom on Twitter, at TC Tom1 on Instagram. Better chance to catch all the interaction on Twitter than Instagram, although I do post up there from time to time. The PSF app. I am calling the game tomorrow. So whether or not Suzy is able to join me or not come through and help me fill the space that you cannot fill if Suzy's not able to be there, but try. And hopefully we get a dub and we're able to raise a glass and cheer on an Astros team that drove in all the runs. And a pitching staff that just keeps doing what they're doing because JV's been lights out the last two times out. I think there's a great chance for them to win if they could score. We need them to score. Something more than three would be great. Come there.
Five.
The
Five is the magic number.
Suzy's spoken into existence. We're going to get 5 runs tomorrow. If we don't, it's Suzy's fault. That's what I heard. On the PSF app, we have a great new feature called Duels. It's sponsored or driven by Lucra Sports. You go make an account, you put some money in there, and it is a head to head wager where I think Jose Altuve is going to have more hits than Nolan Arenado. Somebody's going to take Nolan Arenado, and whoever has more hits, they're going to make that money. So feel free to come through. You can make your own bets. You can take some of mine. There's going to be plenty out there. It's really starting to pick up pace. A lot of the other media casters that are covering their teams are starting to play a little bit. It's a lot of fun. It's a way to put your money where your mouth is, put a little something extra on a game where you're talking trash to fans. I think it's a lot of fun. You should definitely come check it out. And that is where you can find me.
You will be having more fun than I will be tomorrow night, Tom, because I will be supervising a 9-year-old sleepover with
Ooh, all the
with
painted toes and
many.
s'mores and, you know, what rom-com are y'all watching?
There probably will not be a rom-com. There will probably just be like lots of shrieking and things of that nature going on. I will make sure to bring my noise canceling headphones so that I don't hear all the shrieking. No, but yeah, I will be supervising many 9-year-old girls. So pray for me. And as a certified not girl mom, this may actually be my help. So with that said, I will try and be in the PSF chat room, but odds are I cannot be on video because you will hear all the yelling and squealing and screeching. And that's not a fun time for anybody. It's not. Don't get me twisted. Like, I love my children. I just don't want to hear them all the time. Or anybody else's children, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, come through, hang out with Tom. I will probably be in the chat and I will be there for the next time we are on the PSF app. And we're a very good time. And again, if you've not hit the red button, subscribe button on YouTube, why not? Why not? That's just so silly. That's so silly that you haven't. You should do that. Tell all your friends. Join us on the Twitters, on the Instagram, probably on the Facebook. If you're old, I say if you're old, I'm over there too. So I'm also old over there with you guys. So tell all your friends and we will be here. Rain, shine, win, lose. We will be here celebrating the Astros when they do well, pointing out deficiencies. Jasmine Burmick, I'm looking at you. And hopefully we can pick it up. Hopefully we can talk about the wins and hopefully we can talk about kicking ass and taking names, like all of the fun stuff. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But with that, we will wrap it up and say, yay, baseball.